Right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, shit just got real. You are in the pre-round match cast for BiGD Premier League. I'm your host, Noppers. I'm excited. This is exciting stuff. We're zooming over Purple Heart Lane right now. Shortly, we're going to have a chat to a couple of the clan reps from OC and 3Para. But for now, let's just do our little bit of our preamble for the map for the week, which is, of course, as I said, Purple Heart Lane. And holy fuck, this road is a long one up the middle, and that's on Zoom. Speed up time, by the way. It's a long road. All right, this is the first point that they're going to potentially fight over, which is Grult Pillbox. Now, hopefully I've said that right, I don't really know. You can tell straight away that it's going to be a tough one, and this is what Purple Heart Lane is known for. Giant paddocks of water. Just water everywhere as far as you can see there. And so there's very limited lines of approach. Purple Heart Lane really favours those that are good at the bolt action rifle or the long range shooters. If you're good with an MP40 at range, well, this map's for you. Very, very few options there to approach the actual pillbox point. Let's flick down to the ground level now and shoot up one or two of these little water channels, gullies, whatever they're called, I don't even know. Crick, they call them in the States, but here a crick is a pain in the neck. And I guess these are a pain in the neck, because that's your one approach from that side. Here's from the north side on Group Pillbox. You run either side of that and someone's going to be machine gunning you for sure. So it's a bit of a bastard to get in here. And as we zoom back up, you can see, look, you know, if you get on the point first, you're going to be able to defend that pretty well, I reckon. Righto, so let's get a look at the middle point, which is Quarantine Causeway. Now, this one, again, has got that water out as far as the eye can see. The main point, though, is it's on the main road, straight up the guts of the map. So that means that a good tank or anti-tank gun or two up and down that road will control it with lots of good fire. However, there's a bit of a downside to that. Because of the wide angle of view that you've got here in all directions, pretty much, you can put an AT gun way out on the wings and shell the road from out there if you get your positioning right. So I reckon we're going to see some really good long-range sniping, rifles and AT guns. Okay, so let's get down onto the ground eye view and have a look up the road here. As you can see, there's some nice little walls either side, but the trouble is, again, if you put a machine gun left, right and in the middle, you can pretty much cover every single line of approach up that main street. So it's going to be more important to come in from sides like this. As you can see out here on the side now, we're a couple of 100 metres out and we've got huge range of view into the point, but there's these little trenches again, full of water that you can run along, keep your head down and actually approach in from either the north or the south side. This is coming in from the north side, so you can see that you can get right in up here and probably set up a little bit of an assault force and shoot into the point. And then if we flick through and go down to the south side again, you've got the same sort of thing here. Into the trenches, you're going to be able to approach that pretty well. So important to stop the enemy, cut off these lines of approach and you might have a good shot at it. And my favourite of the three, flak position out on the right or east flank. Now this one is a bit of a bastard to fight, and the reason for it is there's all sorts of trenches and bunkers and things in here, and it's still got that open ground, so the people whoever owns the position can really set up some good defence if they've got enough people with big lines of view and lots of stuff for them to hide in and amongst. There are a few good approach points, and there's less water overall, but it's still a bit of a bastard to approach into. So we'll get down amongst the weeds again and we'll have a look at some of these approaches. So this is the approach from the south. It's the same as before, and you can actually push up here with good smoke throwing. I've attacked right up to the edge of the point there and no one's been able to shoot me. The fence actually provides you a bit of cover. Flicking out and having a look at the left there, you've got a couple more trenches. Out to the right, there's a bit of defilade ground, lower ground, and the map edge where that windy river is. It's actually quite good, so you've got about 4 lines of attack. Now if we jump up on the north side and have a look from the ground view, you can see a few little bunkers and trenches and things in here that they're going to be able to defend from. So, you know, that's not terrible for them. We rip out to the north side now and we can come in from that way and see there's this lovely waterway to come in along, lovely little hill there. You can keep your head down and approach the point fairly well. This is a bit more open out this eastern side of the map though, but once you get into this trench here, you can set up OPs and shoot from there all day. So not a bad spot to attack from. Now if we scoot over to the sides on the western side there, and you can see as I'm looking into the point there, you've got one of these little trenches coming down here again. So we're going to just zoom along this trench now and have a bit of a look-see as to what you can see. And you can see how we can approach that fairly well and keep our head down in that trench. And this building in the middle here, which is directly west of the point, is a great fire support base position. So it's going to be important for either team to control that area, whether they're attacking or defending. Coming down further to the south, the same sort of trench systems, a little bit of smoke there will get you across that gap. Right, so now it's time for an east-west fly over the map and the 3 points themselves. You can see I'm getting all fancy and shit with my camera work now. That's fine. Hopefully it gives you a good view. But lots and lots and lots of wide open ground. So if you aren't out there already practicing your bolt action rifles, you probably should be, or it's a little bit too late for this weekend. Tanks are going to be absolutely critical on this map, but I think AT guns are going to be the more critical point, because they're harder to see and they can shoot just as far as a tank. Alrighty then, it is time to go a little bit live on that. So I hope you enjoyed that little fancy video that I put at the start there. Gives you a bit of an overview of the map and what was going on. Welcome, ladies and gents, to the BiGD Premier League Round 3 pre-match cast, or pre-round cast. This is the Wednesday night thing that I do every Wednesday before the weekend of battles. And we have a few members of the community here, and I'll introduce them very shortly. And what we're going to do, if my rabbits over the back here don't shut up because they're scratching around, what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick chat about some of those concepts that I brought up about the map. And then we're going to go over to the two clans representing tonight, which are 3Para and OC, and we're going to let them have a bit of a say about their clans and what they represent and, you know, how much grog they drink or whatever the hell it is they do. So the first thing I'd like to do is remind the boys to make sure that they take themselves off mute as I introduce them. And from the 3Para crew tonight, I've got Destructus and Hit the Streets. So Destructus, say hello, please, mate.
Yeah, how you going there, Noppers?
Yeah, good, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you very much for attending. And I believe it's pretty late for you. Is that correct?
Oh, no, it's not super late. Just after 9. It's early. Better get up early. I think Streets is the same as well.
Yeah, right. And so, Streetsy, g'day, mate. Yes, I think maybe it was you that was saying before. It's lovely and late.
Sure was.
Right, well, welcome, mate. I'm glad to have you both here. And, of course, he's come in at the last minute, but good to see you, Fiercey. Welcome from OC, mate.
Thanks, Noppers. Thanks for having us, mate. How are you guys?
Everyone seems to be pretty good and happy and energised and ready for this weekend. And I think it's going to be another fantastic weekend of competition, to be perfectly blunt with you. It's just raising its standard exponentially every week. Now, this map, Purple Heart Lane, if I called this a cast iron bastard of a map to play on, Destructus, would I be correct in saying that?
Yeah, I think you'd be pretty accurate. It's not going to be... Well, this map isn't particularly liked amongst many people. It's very open, not a lot of cover, makes it very difficult to at points. But yeah, it's very challenging for sure.
That's right, it's hard to approach, and we saw a lot of that in the actual video itself. I guess that's part and parcel of some of these maps that we have to play on well, we get the luxury of playing on, to be honest. It's great. Fiercey, what do you think, mate? What's the key things about this map that are going to piss you off when you play?
It's got a lot of open areas, mate, and it's just one of those maps where I really do think whoever gets into that point first is going to be the ones that hold it for the match. It is an exceptionally hard map to try and flank on. I know we've done a practice game in this already, and it didn't go so well for us. So, look, man, we got to change some stuff. Like this map in particular, like I would have to say this is probably our weakest map.
Yeah, I think you'd be in a long line of people saying that about this particular map, mate.
Yeah.
Now, look, it is a more challenging map in that, you know, the group that gets into the point first is probably going to have the advantage because they'll be able to set up defensive quickly if they're quick enough to do that. We've seen that TFK and NRD were very, very fast at getting into the points. I'm not going to ask you, gents, how you're going to try and beat them in that regard if you're playing against them. Actually, 3Para, I believe you are playing against TFK. So we won't get your trade secrets here. But do you think, let's speculate this, do you think you've got a shot at beating TFK into the point?
Yeah, I reckon we do.
You do? You've got an excellent...
Yep. It all depends on the point. There's 2 points that are closer to one side and there's 1 point closer to the other side.
Yep. And we're looking at
pretty sure...
Sorry, go on, mate.
Causeway's closer to the Germans and then Pillbox and Flak are both closer to the Americans.
All right, well, I'll just bring up the actual map now on the stream for everyone to have a look at, and we can see the 3 points across there. I favour the two on the right. I really like fighting in those two, and I would back myself in attacking either of those 2 points. The one on the left, though, Group Pillbox, I've got to say, I'm not a fan. It's got the least lines of approach, and like I find on every map, every bastard with a decent half an eyeball can shoot me from 200 metres away. And so if I was trying to run in towards that point, I think you'd find a lot of dead knoppers on the field. All right, so what would you expect some of the strategies to be? I'm just going to throw to the three para guys. We talked just before the cast actually about anti-tank guns, and I mentioned that in my pre-video that anti-tank guns are going to be important. Hit the streets. Could you tell me, like, you agreed with me on that? Tell me why, man. Why is that?
The range of view on an anti-tank gun is massive. You can still see, I think it's 1,000 metres within the range of sight before it drops off, and you're not going to see an AT gun at 800 metres, whereas you'll see a Tiger or a 76 at that distance. So you can hide one in a tiny place, and you'll still be able to see for a long way and get a lot of fire onto a point.
So, Destructors, am I expecting then to be casting matches where we're going to have 3 or 4 or 5 AT guns and a bunch of machine gunners spread all over the map on both teams, mate? Does that sound where the strategy's going to go, do you think? Yeah,
potentially. I'd say anti-tank and armour is going to play a fairly big role on this map, and that's going to be where whoever can dominate those are probably going to be the victors at the end of the match.
All right, let's bump across to Fiercey now. I'm going to go to the point where I ask you what is your most preferred and least preferred point to either be attacking or defending or whatever. So Fiercey, what's your most preferred one? Which one do you like the best to be working over?
Am I allowed to answer 0 for any of them?
The entire map, fuck it off, move on. Yeah, right, got it.
If I have to pick one, mate, it would have to be flak position, just because I've had probably my best experience in public games playing Commander on that and winning games out of there. I like holding it down as a defensive position.
It's good fun out there, though, isn't it, too?
Yeah, I know about 3 or 4 really decent places around there that you can get garrisons up, which are always effective. If I had to choose one, that's where I want to play. My least preferred, pillbox.
Yeah,
it's so open on both sides, and trying to get in there once it's controlled along that riverbank and using those drainage canals, it's super hard. Yeah, I think anyone will agree with me. That's one of the hardest points. And Carentan Causeway is just an open battle. Like, that's probably one of the easiest ones in my opinion, but it's also going to be one of the ones that go back and forward when the teams, during the game. That's what I think is going to happen there. All
right. Well, let's go to hit the streets now, mate. Which one's your preferred point, most preferred and least?
Pretty much identical to Fierce. Black will be the best. You can attack from multitudes of angles, whereas pillbox is nothing. Once someone's in there, that's kind of it. You're going to see them coming from a mile away. And with the BPL rule of no arty, if you can have arty smoke to move in, you'd probably be okay. But because you're not allowed that, it's going to make it real hard to push into that point.
Yeah, a bit of arty smoke certainly makes a big difference on this map. I remember attacking pillbox, probably 2 years ago now, and it was smoke all the way. What about you, Destructor? So you're going to fall in with the crowd here, mate, and say pillbox is just a horse's ass and let's not have it appear at all?
Yeah, I think so. It's a pretty general consensus amongst us all by the sounds of it.
That's unanimous. So the event administrators need to be listening hard right now. Nobody wants pillbox, guys. Let's avoid that. Or if you do get pillbox, geez, you better be whipping out that ace in the hole. We can get on the point first strategy. I'd be interested to see in that first minute of battle how many transport trucks get blown up at long range too. That I think is going to happen. I really do. What about your preferred point, Destructors?
Probably, I think maybe the easiest one to defend would be probably the battery.
The one battery flak position on the right hand side of the map.
Yeah, probably the easiest one to defend, given how open it is. If you can get in there and set up a good defensive position, it's very difficult, I reckon, for the attackers to get in and take that point.
We're just having a look at it now on the stream, and Look, yeah, you know, I agree with the comment that was made here about it being a good fun spot to play over. Particularly, there's so many different ways you can approach it with some reasonable chance of success of attacking the point if you're coordinated. And I've had some of my most fun battles here as well, Fiercey, so it's a good observation you made before, mate. All right, so that's the map. That's the game. That's the Purple Heart Lane. That's the one that I think is probably one of the least favoured maps in the entire suite of maps. Although Remagen is probably going to give it a red-hot go at challenging that by the sounds of it. There's been a lot of talk about Remagen and the bridge problem. And you can excuse my rabbits in the background there. They're now scratching the floor. It's wonderful fun. So what I'll do now is I'll bump across here and we're going to actually introduce the two clans. And Fiercey, I'm going to start with your clan, OC Only Clans. It only just clicked to me yesterday that maybe that's a spin-off of OnlyFans. I'm not actually sure. So I'm really interested to hear about Only Clans. You're relatively new. Over to you, mate. Tell us a story.
Look, man, you can thank Lucian for that one. He come up over, with that overnight. We were going to call it something else. We were talking about this the other day. We can't even remember what we were originally going to call it. And he brought that name to me and the other establishment members at first. And I said, I don't know if I like it. I let it sit with me overnight. And then I came back next day and said, let's do it, man. I think it's a great name. I think you'll get a lot of laughs from people out of it. Yeah, and it's just sort of started from there, man. I briefly, you guys know probably our backstory. We came from HFKT back in the day. We didn't really work out there. There's a bit more to it than that, but to say the least. But we decided to form a clan from that. And we're really happy. We've got a great group of people. Yeah.
And you're a pretty active clan, mate. From what I've seen of the last couple of months, there's a lot of energy in you guys. There's a lot of enthusiasm for this game in particular that I've watched. And also, you are actively recruiting. Am I correct there?
Yes and no. It depends what everybody wants to do. For Premier League, yes, I would like to say we are recruiting. We're always looking for great players to add to the crew. That's probably why we've got the team we do at the moment. I was really big on the guys when we first started on team chemistry, so I've really put that emphasis on people when they've joined and they've gone through their trial with the clan. I've said to them, if you want to be here, you know, we have a group of people that just aren't, you know, clan mates. We've all become friends here. We all know each other. As I said, it's a really, really good group of people. I'm really fortunate that we've met these people and we've stayed as a group. We've just built it on there, man. So to answer your question, yeah, we are always recruiting. We're always looking for decent players to join our ranks. It's not just about their play skill, man. It's about having a certain chemistry with us. And look, not everyone that has come on as trial has been passed. That's why we have a trial period. And comes down to the great admin team I've got here at OC. They're just excellent. And, you know, co-founder Loish and Deadman and others involved, Luke. You know, I can't thank the guys enough for, you know, supporting the idea, you know, and you know, helping us build it to what we've got it to.
Absolutely, mate. And where I say I know you're recruiting is because, ironically, in the last 2 weeks, I think I've met a bunch of people for the first time that have just passed the trial period, and they were super happy about it, mate. So well done on getting some good crew there. I game with a couple of those different elements, and you've got some good people there, mate. So I wish you all the success for your clan. And, of course, you are... Well, as at the end of round 2, you were on the top of the table. I don't actually know where the points stand.
We can talk about that later if you want to bring it up.
We might hit that at the end. We'll just get a bit of a wrap up on that. So, but thanks for that, Fiercey. We'll head across now to that other mob, which I only really met 3 para guys just before the start of this competition, and a bunch of larrikins is how I would describe you, but in a very positive way. It's been really good fun engaging with you in various banters and chats and games as well. And I try and come and seed your server where I can while I'm actually working from home. So I'm doing my part, boys. There's a poster about that shit. I'm doing my part. So Hitler, we're going to start with you, mate. Tell me all about 3 para.
Oh, honestly, Destructus is probably better to start off with because it started with Destructus and Airborne.
All right, let's do that.
2 founders.
Distractus, you're under the bus now, mate.
No. So Kiwi and we've been playing for a little while, and so we got sick of playing with blueberries, no one communicating, just losing matches through stupid gameplay. So we just thought, bugger this, let's start up our own sort of thing, a group, just find some guys who like-minded, and sort of started from there. So the Kiwi, it's basically it's his clan. 3 paras are the unit that he used to serve with. He started, he sort of got it all underway, and then it was just from there we just started finding guys as we played each night who could communicate, who not necessarily were the best players, but could chat with us, work together as a team, and essentially try and win the game, or at least have the best game that you can. And so that's where it's sort of gone from. And yeah, gone from there. We started off with just the 2 of us, and now I think we've got quite a good number of people.
Well, you got enough to field a team in this competition, mate, and give it a red hot go. And you've just stepping off the back of a success last weekend. So that was a brilliant match that you guys fought, and for a new clan, may I say, a very good effort to come together and have that hard fight and have that victory. So well done there.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, that was a really good match. Everyone that played it really enjoyed it. So it was good.
Have the hearts
good to watch.
Have the heart stopped racing, mate? I know Kiwi told me that there was a bit of breathlessness there in the last minutes. People were gasping for air. It was that exciting.
Yeah, it was glad to be over. Like as soon as they called it, it was like relief, and everyone was the same. That was a very tough match.
And Hitler, where do you fit into this 3-para world now, mate?
I think I was probably maybe the 5th member or something to come along in here. When I first started, there was 5 of us, and by the end of the week, there was about 10. And for a while, there wasn't many of us, and all we did was drink. We just drank and had fun and enjoyed the game for what it was. So that's pretty much where we go from outside of, what we're doing normally. If we're not really trying too hard on a Friday night, you'll catch us in our Discord.
And now
having beers, having fun.
And now every Saturday night, you grab those beer bottles, you smash them on the desk, and you're like, fucking bring it, Big D Premier League, bring it. Is that...
That's what you do to calm the nerves before the game,
All right. Well, there it is, folks. The 2 clans that have represented this week being OC and 3-para. And, gents, while I have that in my mind, I thank you all for attending and providing us with some oversight about how your clan works. We've even got your little pretty logos up on the screen. Now, that's how fancy it's getting here, ladies and gentlemen. It is just red hot, this stuff that I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. So I'm going to now put up some aerial footage flying around over the different maps, because I now know how to do that better. And Fiercey, I just want to jump across now to that conversation about what's occurred in the Premier League. We're not going to get into the detail of the why or the how behind it, but the decision was made by the 2 Chimera teams that unfortunately they couldn't field their teams and they've had to pull out. The rules have stated what occurs in that instance. The committee met and matched the rules. So could you now tell me what happens from this point forwards, please?
All right, so we had a discussion after the meeting when Chimera told us they wouldn't be able to continue the season, and I will just add now that they will definitely be invited back to second season. It's just an unfortunate problem they're having as starting up a clan and a new merger. So I'm happy to have them back as second season. I think they'll have a great team. I will just say that. What's happening now, dude, is their games, we will obviously have buys put in place more or less, but instead of doing buys, we've decided to take that opportunity. Seeing you guys are doing such a great job with this casting panel and going to the effort, we will organize teams that are missing out to play a practice match in those time slots. So this week, OC and the public team miss out on 2 games, obviously. So we will play a practice match, which you hopefully will commentate and cast.
Well, let's just confirm some things here for you and the community as well. So this weekend's rounds, it's the public team versus one of the Chimera teams. And so now instead of that, you're going to have OC and the public team. Is that correct?
Yes, but it won't be for points. Okay?
No, that's right.
It'll just be a practice games for the sake of having a game. And in the other time slot, we're going to have what's called a scratch match. was actually one of your ideas, and thank you for coming to that meeting because it was an excellent idea. What that means is that anybody that watches your stream, anyone from the public, anyone that from Chimera that still wanted to play, that was unfortunate enough to miss out, come and get involved in a game that's telecasted live and play with Noppers and the rest of the crew. Come and see what Premier League is like. Try it out. And then if you want to come and play in a team for Season 2, please do. I encourage anyone that's watching this stream or even overseas players, please come and contact us, get involved in this.
Absolutely. So I guess, Just Fierce on Discord and myself, Noppers on Discord, find us there. Contact people in the BiGD community wherever you can, ask around. We'll get the information to you. So that's so now it's Australian Eastern Standard Time. So 1900 on Saturday night, the 9th of April, Australian Eastern Standard Time is Public versus OC, and that will be live telecast with a 15-minute delay for stream sniping purposes, and then followed up by TFK versus 3 Para. Good luck, boys. And that's at 2000 hours Australian Eastern Standard Time.
That's a game for points.
That's a
normal game.
That's a hot to trot points one, that one. So that's where all the nerves come back in, and that will be again live cast by myself. And Fiercey, I guess I need to tell you, mate, I'll be doing all the live casting for the rest of the season. I've made that call.
Thank you.
Putang will still be doing streaming on his as well, linked in with me. But it was just to try and keep that consistency for the comp, because we had this little hiccup with a couple of teams dropping out. So I've made arrangements to try and make sure I've got the time to do it.
We're so grateful, man. We can't thank you guys enough for putting your time in.
So that's the Saturday night, and then on the Sunday night you've got OC versus, well, that's the scratch match, which is just everybody versus everybody. There'll be some great leadership there for those teams, I have no doubt. People will step up left, right and centre. The enthusiasm for a scratch match is ridiculous. It's really cool. So I'm going to try and stir up some interest from the community in the next few days as well. That's at 1900 hours Australian Eastern Standard Time. Again, live streamed plus 15. And then a points match at 2000 hours, NRD AAS versus the Foy Boys. I think that's going to be a very, very, very good match. Both Foy Boys are coming off that loss the other day, and they're going to be wicked keen to get a win. And NRD are coming off the loss the other day, and they're going to be wicked keen to get a win. So, look, a great weekend coming up. Even with the dropout, it's still going to be a fascinating weekend. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this, as I am, obviously, in my commentary. And I think what we'll do there is we'll wrap up. We've gone for just over half an hour. Sure, mate.
Can I just explain something just about the rules? Because of the Chimera dropout as well, I'll just inform the public. OC loses a point because all their games now don't count and their previous results are expunged. So the only team that was affected by it was OC. Unfortunately, it was just one of those things. We have to groom merit. We're going to push on. But when you see the updated points table next week, you're going to see OC with minus, that we won't have the win from them. So it'll be just 1 point.
Everybody will be pretty much on 1 point, yeah. So the way you fix that, mate, is really, really good grenades. Like lots.
Yeah, more or less.
Throw all the grenades. That's what I say. And thanks for that too. So it really has levelled the comp back a little bit. It's anybody's game at the moment, to be honest. We've got a whole bunch of matches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more rounds to go, including this weekend. I'm excited. These guys are excited. Ladies and gents, get excited in this. I'm looking forward to the live streams this weekend. I look forward to your attendance. Get on board with the scratch matches and stuff that are being played, and I'm hoping to see you then. Fiercey, thanks for coming tonight, mate, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys. Always a pleasure.
No worries. Thanks, mate. Great that you could be here.
Thanks for having me, mate.
No worries at all. Appreciate it. And Destructus, thank you as well, mate, and good luck with this battle on the weekend, everybody.
All right, thank you very much, Noppers. Appreciate it, mate.
All right, folks, I'm going to wrap up my stream there for now. That's the end of the pre-round casting. I'm going to take a medium-level break, and then I'm going to come back and do live streaming to the community. I look forward to having you join us on the stream if you wish. Otherwise, have a good evening, and I'll see you on the weekend, hopefully.